Hey you guys, this is Professor Vitt, and we are just going to go over our syllabus really briefly. This isn't a substantive introduction to the course, it's just more about procedures and policies. So we have our opening quote here from Aristotle. It's the mark of an educated mind to entertain a thought without accepting it, and all that really means is it's important to address things on their merits, and that's the purpose of education, is get you past your own prejudices and biases. We are in Philosophy 11, Critical Thinking. This is the winter intersession of 2015. This class takes place entirely on the web. It will not ever meet physically, nor will I ever be in my office on the intersession break. So this is entirely online. My email address is rvitt@lbcc.edu. Phone number that brings to my office line, and then I will get the voicemail, so please feel free to call me at that number. Our course dates, we go from January the 5th of 2015 up to February the 7th of 2015. What that means is we're doing about 3 weeks of work every week. So this is a really time intensive course, very condensed. Okay, let's do the course catalog description. I apologize for the delay there. I have two young boys. They're both 3 or under, and so periodically when I'm giving a video, there may be some type of distraction or cut in the feed. I apologize, and if you have children, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, just be grateful for editing. This course focuses on the improvement of practical reasoning skills. Students will be required to improve their reasoning skills and will learn to detect and avoid common argument fallacies. Students will develop the knowledge and habits needed to make decisions between conflicting ideas and beliefs. Applications are made to both contemporary and perennial issues such as current political events, the news, media, science versus pseudoscience, and capital punishment. Our scope is going to be on science versus pseudoscience to a degree, and contemporary issues, they're also perennial, concerning so-called anomalous phenomena, otherwise known as extraordinary claims, otherwise known as crazy stuff, right? So UFOs, Bigfoot, psychics, astrology, all that stuff, just really, extraordinary claims, really interesting claims. That's what we're going to do. Now, if you look at the student learning outcomes here, it will explain to you what you'll do in a very formal way, but unfortunately at this point, without having taken the course, this would just be Greek to you. Essentially what we're going to do is look at arguments and define what those are, and then look at different types of arguments, and then we're also going to look at ways to build the right kind of arguments, primarily through looking at the wrong ways to build them, and those are called fallacies. Our book, 7th edition, it is required. It's How to Think About Weird Things. It's an industry standard. It's by Theodore Schick and Louis Vaughn. Good authors. I don't agree with everything in the book. I don't think, perhaps you should not agree with any book in its entirety altogether, but at least in this case, this book, there's a specific take that they have on religion and faith, and it's entirely outside the scope of the course. These are distinct sort of camps, and this book sort of lumps them all together. So if you ever want to know more about philosophy, religion, and so forth, that's a great course to take. Professor Lawrence teaches it at some point. I don't know that I will, but I might. So it's a good course, but we're not going to cover that ground in this course. We'll just disregard it in its entirety. Course requirements. What do you have to do? You're going to have 5 packets, and those are going to be worth 10% each. These are weekly directed instructions from me and in the book. So you will need that book to do those packets. Now, I can work with you if it's going to take you a week or so to get the book. That's fine. But any longer, and you've missed such an immense amount of material, it's almost impossible to get caught up, particularly with even more material being added every week. So I would encourage you to get that book as soon as possible. So you'll be doing these 5 packets. Each of those are 10% each, so that's half your grade. So if you do your packet, you don't do anything else, you're already at 50 out of 100, right? You're going to have one paper. It's going to be 4 to 5 pages. It's going to exhibit certain forms of critical argumentation and self-evaluation. Then that'll be 15% of your grade. Then we'll be taking 2 exams. Those are worth 10% each. And those are entirely based on the packets that I've given you. So if you're doing the packets, the exam should be very, 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 very straightforward. And so if you put in the work in this class, you will do well. But it does require consistent effort. Then you're going to get a quiz over this particular video for 5%, and you will be giving one presentation online and analyzing another person's presentation. That's going to be 10% of your grade. So, grading policy, this is all standard. It's set by Long Beach City College, not by me. A's are 100 to 90, B's 89.99 to 80, and so forth, straight down the line. Now, the next section of the syllabus is just a way to contact me. First, you have my Pinterest page. You can't really send messages there, but I do pin things every once in a while, and so perhaps you'd see something there that interests you. Facebook, you can like me. This is a thing that you like. It's not me. And then I can contact you that way. Or you can access me on Twitter. I'm on Twitter. That I get a good notification for that. So if you have a quick question, happy to answer it. But if you have a question about your grade, I would encourage you to email me here at at lbcc.edu. That'll just be the best way to go because I can't discuss your grade on Twitter. Class participation. This class is a lot of work. I've mentioned this before. You have to be able to do about a month's worth of work in a week. So if, and once that first week is done, then we close that module. You cannot make it up, right? So if you do the first module, do the second module, and then you skip 3 and 4, and you come in at the end saying, I want 5 and 6, and I'll make up 3 and 4, 3 and 4 will close. So each module closes each week. So it's, get up and go. If you can't do this, I completely understand. And I don't want to scare you away. It's a very doable class. It's an enjoyable class, but I just want you to know that because I'm getting a lot of people who want to add this class. And so if you're not able to do it, let me know or just, withdraw yourself so that someone who really wants the seat can get it too. Okay. But I mean, don't worry. It's not going to, you'll live, this won't be the end of all courses, right? Okay. This course will deal with some controversial topics. For some people, it'll be controversial. For some people, they won't. I'm not here to tell you how to believe. You're not graded in my class on how what you believe, right? I mean, I don't grade anyone on. I don't ask them what their beliefs are and then grade them according to that. All that I want to know is how your reasoning works. And when you can show me that and you conform to the standards of the class, there's no problem at all. I have students across the board. I've had students who are convinced Bigfoot exists. I've had students who are convinced that he doesn't. I don't have a dog in that fight. It's just an interesting way to study the way that we think. So you're not graded on whether or not you believe in astrology or UFOs or anything like that. What you're really graded on is how your reasoning works. The course textbook, I mentioned this above, they sort of take a certain approach to religious faith and philosophy of religion. And I don't know that it's an entirely accurate one. So we're going to disregard a bunch of that stuff because it's just outside the scope of the class. Internet access, you will absolutely need to have access to the internet for this class. You'll need it. You'll be logging in probably several times a week to get your stuff done. So, you have to have access to the internet. Your current email account has to be current. The one that you have registered with Moodle, that has to be the one that you get messages on. If it's something time sensitive and I email you and you just, for whatever reason, right, you didn't, I don't know, but you know, I guess I shouldn't try to come up with an example on the fly. It's just, it's very important that you're able to have access to your email account, the one that you have registered with Moodle, because I'll send announcements out to the class and that sort of thing, reminders, and that needs to be all on the up and up. Academic integrity and plagiarism. I mean, obviously, at this point, many of you are familiar with plagiarism. It's the idea that you're taking someone else's work and you're passing it off as your own. Famously, this has kind of taken form in online classes where people are paying other people to take courses and so forth. They're not even them. That kind of thing. Look, I mean, if you are using someone else's text, just quote them, identify them with quotes, cite it, and then explain it. You're certifying that you are the person who's taking this course and so forth. Yeah. So just adhere to the academic standards of our institution. Usually online classes are actually pretty good. You're a motivated group, you want to get stuff done, so you're working or you have other outside obligations and you're doing this class, and so I don't often have this problem online. Student Success Centers, these are things that are available to you on campus. Disabilities programs and services, very, very good. Please, I encourage you to use that contact information if you would like. Veterans Affairs Office at Long Beach City College is great. If you think I would encourage you to contact them if you haven't been already, if you're a veteran. They have a great career and job services center. They offer you services that people pay a lot of money to have. So if, you're trying to think about your career, I would encourage you to contact them. Assignment sequence. I'm going to send it out. It's actually right here at the end. But this is all tentative. This is not set in stone. If we need to change something or move something, then we'll do that. But so that's what we're telling you there. There are no makeup assignments for this course. So once a module closes, it's closed. And you cannot make it up. So, be mindful. Let's see. Discipline policy won't really apply except online. You guys will be interfacing with one another at different points in this course, and the only rule is civility, right? And not taking anything personally when you're being evaluated or someone is evaluating you, and don't engage in any type of behavior that would disrupt someone else's learning. So, but again, I don't think we'll be okay. Academic freedom. This is an important point. Some of the topics that we cover may include, objectionable language or something like that. As long as it's pertinent to the learning process, that's fine. But in taking any course, you're likely to be exposed to language or ideas that are in conflict with your own personal worldview. Everyone is having this happen to them, so just maintain a courteous and mature demeanor during our classroom discussions or in the little chat forums and so forth. You don't know someone else's shoes, you don't know what they're going through, and they don't know you, so we will keep it civil. Let's see. Class attendance. What this really means is you've got to log in and you've got to be proactive about getting your work done. This will not be a class that you can sort of take a break for a few weeks from and then prevail. Okay. Spelling, grammar, and punctuation always count toward or against your grade. So make sure that the stuff you send in is proofed and edited and so forth. Let's say you complete one of the packets and you turn it in, but you have a number of spelling spelling errors and typographical errors and even grammatical errors. But you got the answers right. Well, that's not an A paper, right? It could be a B or perhaps even a C paper. Or if it was tremendously bad, it could be a D, right? If you're not able to formulate your ideas and frame them in the right context, in that way, it can count against you. So fortunately, these are very workable problems. These are very, these are ways to succeed. You can get past it. It's not a problem. We're not, it's not a composition course per se, so don't worry about that. If you have any questions or concerns on that or anything so far in this syllabus, always please feel free to contact me. I am available. Okay, so this is our schedule of assignments. You'll see this open up in Moodle, probably make more sense there, but here's the breakdown. This week, which ends on January the 11th at midnight, so at 12:01 or whatever it is, then we flip into this next module. The first one, you've got a syllabus quiz due and a module packet due. And then the next one, you see where I have do this module, you'll have a paper, you'll have an exam, and you'll have a packet. Then the third week, a little bit of a breather. You can do more work if you want more extra credit that week, but that's a breather to launch into the last two, which will be an exam, a packet, an exam, a presentation, and a packet. Okay, so let's see if we've covered everything. Yeah, I think we have. So, hold on a minute. Okay, so just last things to stress. If you have any questions, please email me. I'm available. You will periodically see these guys in the videos. These are my sons. So please disregard if I send you an email that has a typo, it's probably them. And we will see you guys in the chat rooms. Okay, you guys say bye.
Bye.
All right.
The microphone.